breaking news, everybody. Gary Tanguay, Bob Ryan, Jeff Goodman, the Ryan Goodman Tanguay Along for the Ride podcast special edition, the special trade edition, if you will. All right, guys, let's get to it here. As we talk about some of the moves, some of the trades here in the NBA, I didn't think Durant was going to get moved. I have to admit. Durant goes to Phoenix along with TJ Warren. I don't want to get caught up in the minutia, but Brooklyn gets picks, Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges, and Jay Crowder, who at one time was untradeable by Celtic fans. KD. The rumor was he wanted to go to Phoenix. What about this, Jeff?
Well, I mean, again, he wants to go somewhere he can win another title. And this is a place he can win a title. He gets out from under Kyrie, which I don't know publicly if he'll ever admit, that he made a bad decision leaving Golden State and teaming with Kyrie, but we know it was a poor decision. Now, listen, he gets Devin Booker, a young star who's better than Kyrie in many ways, right? He's younger. He can guard a little bit, and you've got DeAndre Ayton, a legitimate five-man who's, again, in his prime. And you have Chris Paul, who's 37 and doesn't have to do too much now. You know what? Chris Paul just has to stay healthy. This makes the Phoenix Suns the favorites in the West if they're healthy. They are the clear-cut favorites over Denver, over Golden State, over whoever else you want to say. To me, as long as Kevin Durant and Chris Paul are healthy and Booker's coming back from injury, everything's predicated on health. They're the best team in the West.
I would say they are the best team in the West. I'm not going to go head and shoulders yet till we see the product, but I think I would pick, if you had to give me a pick right now, because I still say I wouldn't be at all surprised if the Golden State Warriors come out of the pack and they're the 69 Celtics. I'm telling you right now. Okay, just remember that. Look them up, young folks. See what I'm talking about. Okay, now it's tremendous. I mean, it's tremendous. That they get 4/5 of. I don't know who the fifth starter is going to be necessarily in this group, but if it's Warren, I don't know, that's fine.
Torrey Craig, whoever.
Yeah, but they got 4.
You can put you out there, Bob, and they'd be okay.
All right, and KD he's playing at a high level. Booker is he's in his prime, I'd say already, and he's capable of dropping. What did I say? 60 on you? Yeah, he won't have to do 60 now. He's got a little more help. Oh no, they're good. They're very good, and we know they got a good coach, quality coach, and that's good. No, it's a tremendous deal for them. I think no question about it, and I think he's going to go out there with a tremendous enthusiasm.
Did they give up too much, Bob? They gave up Bridges, Cam Johnson, 4 first-round picks, 2023, 5, 7, 9, and can swap in 2028. I say, you know what?
No.
You go for it now. And
Absolutely.
they got a shot.
West, when you look at the West, you're saying there's a chance, there's an opportunity, absolutely an opportunity for them, for Denver, for Memphis, and they got to take advantage. And I once again, Golden State. We'll get to the Lakers in a minute. So, yes, I think, and with regard to the picks, depending on who your GM is and what your disposition is, picks get flown around, traded. You go find one. Oh my God!
In 5 years, when they tank, they'll get a lot more. They'll get picks back.
Right. I'm not worried about it. They're not.
Guys, we talked about Phoenix and the fact that the window had closed, right?
Yeah.
Window's back open. Window is
guys, let's remember one thing about Phoenix. This is year 50. No. More 53 or 5 that I think maybe this year. I think they went 68. They haven't won.
Right.
They haven't won. Come on. It's over half a century. They have not won.
Hey, how about the new owner, Matt Ispia? Right out of the gates.
Opening statement. This is, absolutely. This is like flying right out of the gate. Oh, no kidding. First thing I thought of is Matt Ispia. He didn't mess around.
I got to get Matt Ispia to come on our pod, the former Michigan State walk-on.
I know. That's great.
Well, it's great for business because from a league perspective, now Durant is definitely in the picture. We weren't so sure how he was going to do alone in Brooklyn, right? But as you both have just mentioned, he's got himself a team around him. Yeah. So he's back in the game. So now we have some balance in the playoffs. Prior to this move, we were thinking it's all coming out of the East. Look, with Kevin Durant on a team with the players that you mentioned, Booker and company, Phoenix can win it all. They can win it all.
Oh no, they're
100%.
And before we were thinking nobody's coming out of the West. I mean, Bob's right about the 69 Golden State Warriors. He's absolutely right. But we'll wait and see when we get there. Now you have two, Bob, I'll get your comments on this. You have two legitimate contenders right now out of the West. The Lakers remains to be seen.
Well, I think
win it all.
Denver, you calling Denver the other one? And you,
no, I'm calling Phoenix. Phoenix and Golden
State. No, I'm saying you said those two.
And Denver.
Denver, Phoenix.
I don't know. Can Denver win it all? Denver can't.
I don't know if they can win it all, but they got some good players.
I mean, you got Durant. Let me put it this way. Phoenix has a guy who's won it all. Golden State has guys who have won it all, right? So those two teams can win it all out of the West.
All right, so those are the three. Those three. I mean, Memphis, for a while we thought, but Memphis is not going to be.
You think Denver can win it all, Bob?
It can happen. I mean, I'm not discounting it at all. Right now, Phoenix to me, even especially if you're allowed to play 4-4, they're the favorite, but they're the favorite. But I got respect for Denver.
Okay, so now
let's go.
How does the chemistry work, Jeff, with Phoenix? I mean, Booker is used to putting up 60, as you've mentioned. I mean, how is this going to jive? Because obviously KD is the alpha male.
I'll say this. Devin Booker once came off the bench in college at Kentucky. Okay, yeah. So he can do it.
That reminds me, yes, that if Coach Cal had played him more, they would have won another championship.
Yes.
I want to get into that today. We'll save that for another day. We get around March, we can bring it. We can remind him of that. But anyway, I think it'll be fine because of the nature of KD's game. KD is not he's a damn great basketball player. He's not just a scoring machine. He's a basketball player.
He's a hell of a player. Again, listen, he's gotten a bad rap, and some of it he's brought on himself. But you know what he is? He can score as well as anybody in the league when he's healthy. He can pass it. He can guard. Him and Booker will be electric. They'll be fun to watch. And again, you got Ayton cleaning it up and running the court and finishing and blocking shots. And you got Chris Paul just doing what he does best, which is just distributing, picking his spots when to score. Again, the key here, health.
Right. Well, I mean, that's going to be the case now. So obviously this changes things in the East, Bob, because now Philly, Phil, before for most of this season, we were like, Philly, I don't know, man. I don't know. But now it's a 3-team race, right? It's Philly, Milwaukee, and Boston.
Bookman's out of it. Obviously, Bookman is. We have to discuss the demise of that, the whole saga. Of course, it's the 3 teams in the East. Anything else would be a stupendous upset, whether it's Cleveland or Miami or whoever you would name. It's those 3 teams. It's Boston, it's Milwaukee, and it's Philly. And so that's it. Two of those 3 are going to be waging the Eastern Conference Finals, period.
And any one of those 3.
Barring some catastrophic injury. Joel Embiid goes down. Okay, fine. Philly's out of it. Giannis goes down. Tatum goes down. But point is, if all things equal and health is stable, and when we get to the finals, playoffs, those are the 3 teams. Yes. Right.
So I mean, if you're the Celtics, Gary, you're ecstatic because you went from being cautiously scared of the Nets a month ago to now the Nets are out. They're out of the East. They're done. I mean, poor Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons is like, where did everybody go?
I got no sympathy for Ben Simmons.
I know you don't.
I have zero sympathy for Ben Simmons unless we determine that he really does have a mental health issue. Then I'll have to
chase him out. He helped chase him out.
Yes.
Again, to me, listen, the West got a lot more interesting so far through trade deadline day.
No question.
A lot more interesting because, again, you've got the Suns ramping it up with arguably still the best player on the planet when he's healthy. And you have the Lakers switching it up, right? They got rid of Russ. They got rid of him.
And Jeff, we're going to move to the Lakers in a minute, but I want to ask this one question before we move on. When it comes to the Nets and super teams, we saw how Miami, they won 2 out of 4 finals with a super team. This super team blew up. Is this going to prevent owners, Bob, in your opinion, from going in this direction down the road? Or is it just because we had a personality in Kyrie Irving?
And Harden too. No, this will, to me, it should not dissuade any owner from trying it his way or her way, because of the nature of who we were talking about here. There was a baggage associated with all three of them in one shape or form.
Right.
And the worst case scenario has unfolded. They're all gone. Harden, just bothered people by the way he wormed his way to New Jersey to start with. Durant is still trying to shake off the effects of some people of his original move to Golden State. And Kyrie, we've talked about ad nauseum. There's no need to belabor that point. No. It's the nature of those three people that caused this. It doesn't mean you can't find a compatible three, a more stable, if you will, three than what as Miami did. So this doesn't change things to me.
In your mind, Jeff?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it'll change anything. I think people realize
this is what I do think people have to look at. There are big personalities in the NBA, and chemistry still matters. So I'm not going to say that a team's not going to try to make a super deal or a super team. However, if there are some red flags, I don't think people are going to be as quick. At least if I'm an owner, I'm not going to be as quick to pull the trigger that if I trade all my draft capital, if I unload a bunch of dough, I know these three guys can play together, but what's going on behind the scenes?
I mean, we just saw it though in Dallas. Like, if you got talent, people are going to roll the dice on you. Mark Cuban just rolled the dice on one of the most controversial players that's ever come through the NBA and Kyrie Irving. So if you're talented enough, look at Harden. Again, Harden's got he gave up on Houston. He literally gave up. And again, the Nets still took a shot on him. Philly took a shot on him now. So I don't believe that. I think if you've got talent, super teams, these guys teaming up, it's going to keep happening.
You guys know, I've told you about it. HelloFresh is a great way to get great food in your kitchen. Tonight, this is what the Tanguay family is having: Tostado Supremo with pork. No matter your lifestyle or meal preference, HelloFresh has recipes sure to please everyone at the table. Fit and wholesome, veggie, family friendly. You always get something new for the pickiest eaters, and my kids are picky. You can customize your meals, proteins, change the sides. My wife hates carrots. I always get broccoli instead. If you want to go organic, you can get organic chicken or organic ground beef. So flavor, savings, terrific from HelloFresh. Go to HelloFresh.com/Scribe65 and use the code Scribe65. So for 65% off plus free shipping. HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit. All right, let's get to the Lakers. They obviously are not giving up. Bob, I'll start with you. Addition by subtraction. They get rid of Westbrook, but they did get some players back as well in Russelll and Beasley. Your thoughts on that?
Well, what they've done, and it started with Hachimura, and they have they're addressing an issue that everyone knew they had, and we'll see how it works out. But we give them credit for recognizing a problem and it making a sincere attempt to solve it. They need shooters to give space for LeBron and Davis and to stretch the floor. And now they've got two for sure. Beasley's a 36% 3-point shooter this year, and Hachimura is already there, and they've got another offensive threat in Russelll. I think they're clearly a better team than they were not only 24 hours ago, but certainly a month ago. And I think the knock on wood for them starts with, will Davis be upright and functional? And in the game, you need them to play in the playoffs now. LeBron's going to be LeBron. And I think I think they're suddenly, they're definitely a playoff, and they may be approaching the status. One of my categories is nobody's going to be going goody. We're going to play the Lakers in the playoffs. I think they're out of that category now.
If they get in the playoffs.
If they get in, but I think they will.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, it's a move that Pelinka had to make, right? And you bring DeAngelo Russell back to the Lakers. He's more mature this time than he was the first time around when there were a lot of expectations, a lot of young kids in that locker room. Now it's a grown man's locker room. And yeah, Beasley can help. At least you've got like two real dudes that come in the locker room now that are real NBA players. I just kind of, you look down that team for the last month or year, and you're just like, a lot of these dudes, they're not really NBA players. Just a lot of fringe guys. And Russ, you knew it wasn't going to work out. So you had to get rid of Russ. That's purely addition by subtraction to get him out of there because he won't guard anybody. So I like the move. And they added Mo Bamba here as well. Not that he's great, but you know what he gives you? Some length when Anthony Davis is hurt. He gives you a guy who can come in, and even when AD's healthy, Bamba can come in and play 10, 12 minutes and give you some of that same length and shot blocking ability.
So I think it's a very positive day for them.
Yeah, puts him in the mix. Gives LeBron a fighter's chance to get in the playoffs. And, if everybody's healthy, can they get through the play-in? If they get in the play-in and make it interesting, and who knows who you get now, right? And get Denver, something like that. Who knows?
If everybody's healthy, these playoffs are going to be great.
Yeah.
If Philly's healthy, it makes the East great. If Milwaukee can be healthy, if Durant, you've got, it's going to be great. But then again, health is always a factor.
If I got to ask you before we leave the West, giving up on Wiseman, we've talked about Wiseman interminably since we started this podcast. And if he's ready, with the dimension he could add to that to finish off that team and make them really, really scary, and they're giving up on him. It never happened.
So the Warriors let go of Wiseman for Sadiq Bey. You're right, Bob. Did they give up too soon?
I don't know. I'm asking Jeff your reaction to this.
3 years, he played 60 total games, and they just didn't. Off the record, they didn't love him. They just didn't love him. This is a kid who played 3 games in college.
That means we can't tell anybody?
No, I'm just saying off the record as far as people giving it to me from that organization.
Right.
They were just like, you know what? We just don't believe he's the answer that we thought he might be, because ultimately James Wiseman should have solved every issue that Golden State needed. A big, athletic, can run the court, can block shots. He's everything they needed and can play up and down. But he was hurt a lot, and his work ethic and his toughness were always questioned, always. And I think, unfortunately, they just didn't think that was going to change. So they wanted to get a guy in Sadiq Bey who can really, really help them. He's a 3-and-D guy who, again,
he's had 30-point games this year, hasn't he?
Yeah, Sadiq Bey is a good player.
Yeah. So now, with he and Looney, who's an underrated player, they got, they're covered their butt a bit there, better than they were.
Just another wing. Bay's more of, to me, he played at Villanova, just knows how to play, good, solid wing, who can shoot it some, he can really guard. Like he's kind of somewhat what they already have a little bit, but like he's seasoned. You can throw him out there, he's going to be able to lock guys down. Clay can't really do that anymore. You have Draymond, obviously, but a lot of their guys, they're second unit guys that we thought were going to be really good, haven't turned out to be great. And Jordan Poole even he can score, but he can't really guard.
Okay.
All right. So moving on, the other one is the Clippers. I certainly don't think I don't know if I would put the Clippers in with the three that we've mentioned after these deals, but Eric Gordon goes back to them.
Yeah.
John Wall goes to Houston, but he's never going to play again, more than likely, which is just, that whole Wall situation is just a shame.
Yeah, it is. There's no loss there because he wasn't playing.
Yeah, but I just feel bad for the player because I always like the player.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on the Clippers right now, Bob?
You don't sleep on them, and George and Leonard are out there, which is always a problematic issue. If they're both going to be out together, but if they're out there, Leonard keeps reminding you how good he is. When he is out there, he's not flashy. He doesn't have the public approval and respect that he deserves as a player because he's not flashy. But boy, he can play. He's Mr. Fundamental, really, and they're respectable. But a level below, I think right now with the new Phoenix, and certainly Denver and what I think.
Hey, you guys like Denver, huh? Boy, I don't know.
I mean,
Denver,
I
to
like
me,
their
I-
potential. They got the best player maybe in the NBA, and a guy who makes everybody better. Michael Porter's talented. Jamal Murray looks healthy. Like, they got enough. And the other thing with the Clippers, so like they added two good pieces, scoring pieces. Gordon, he's a professional scorer. He's been doing it in the league for a long time. Again, not at the level of Kawhi or Paul George, but that next tier.
Yeah.
Older dude, great locker room guy. And then you added Bones Highland, who's got a lot of potential. And they didn't give up anything really for him. So I like their depth because we know they've been hurt so much with their two stars. Not that they stand a chance if one of those guys goes down, but they may not have to play those stars as many minutes at least.
Yeah, I mean the Denver thing. To me, I'll believe it. They have to prove it to me first. I don't know if I see Denver beating a healthy Phoenix, or even Golden State. I don't know. We'll see. They got to. I'm still a little bit out on them. We'll see what happens.
One more quick addition that I really liked, and I don't know if you saw, Bob, the reaction of Jalen Brunson when he found out that his former Villanova teammate Josh Hart was traded to the Knicks. He went crazy. He was so excited. And I think it's a good piece to add to a Knicks team that, again, they're not great, but you add another kind of winning basketball player, a guy who knows how to play.
Josh Hart, absolutely. That it's on his chest, his press riches. I know how to play.
Yep.
I can see Tibbs loving him, and that doesn't surprise me at all. And speaking of Brunson, I'm so glad the year he's having.
Yes.
We
all love him. Like, how can you not? How can you not love Jalen Brunson? Like, he's everything that's right about the NBA and how he's gotten there, and again, just done it with winning and culture and being questioned at every turn.
No, so the Knicks, they
got better.
They could catch a little fire and down the stretch and
as we wrap it up, we can put to rest the Jaylen Brown, Kevin Durant trade talk.
Yeah.
Now, our guys, let's not dismiss the fact that the Celtics have added a piece, a big man who can shoot, one more insurance policy, down the stretch, adding to depth without losing anything. And Mike Muscala, who I actually went to see play at Boston University, was with Bucknell because they said, Bucknell has a potential NBA player? At that time, wow, I got to see this, which I did. And that was in 2011, by the way, or so. And he's a 38% 3-point shooter, gentlemen, at 7 feet. And so
nice backup.
That's the game. Yeah. And all right. And by the way, I don't want to get out of here without saluting the Celtics for one of the best wins of the year on Wednesday night, because they start out with missing 3 of their pieces of the puzzle, lose the 4th one in the second quarter, and these, talk about patting the back of the general manager, and Devin White and Malcolm Brogdon, the Brad Stevens additions stepped up hugely. And how about Blake Griffin? Was that wonderful?
Right. It was good to see him out there. Yeah,
good to see him out there and then drilling 5 threes.
Oh, I know. He's hitting a 3. And
Sam woke up. I mean, it got me excited about the possibilities again of what this team can be whole. But it was a good win, I thought, and I salute them on that. But Mike Muscala, it's not earth shaking, but they were looking for a big man that could help and they got one who can shoot. And that's the game. That's the game today.
All right, gents. Any other thoughts?
That's it. I think we covered it.
Look out, folks. You are up to date with what's happening with the NBA player movement with Bob Ryan and Jeff Goodman.